What were some I can't believe I'm getting paid for this moments at your job? I write smut for a living. Every now and then, I write a line or get an idea for a story that's so ridiculously over the top that I genuinely have to take a step away from my laptop for a second and question exactly how it is this became my life. My personal favorite is the very nice email I got from someone who wanted me to commission me to write a story about him being sounded by a Hot Wheels car. He wanted the first half of the story to be about the car stretching out his urethra as it went in great detail, and the second half to be about the damage the car's wing mirrors did to his pee hole as it came out. I politely declined. I also love my job, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't want to do anything else. It's just freaking odd sometimes. Ka-chow. My old job deliberately gave us downtime when work was slow and wouldn't give us more to do till like 3. So me and my coworkers downloaded Left 4 Dead and played co-op lol. But then the bosses were mad we had so much free time, like WTF, you're the ones who decided to make it like this. Worked retail and had to sticker hundreds of items of clothing with little black sale stickers. Just as I'm finishing up, I was told they changed their mind and wanted me to use red stickers instead. So I went back over every item with red stickers. It was also a public holiday in Australia, so I was paid 2.5x my average pay and spent 6 hours of my shift doing just that. Thanks God people are different in this regard. I think I'd go mental after an hour of applying stickers. Right freaking now, I work in a call center for a government body here in the UK. Since February, I've been paid £12 an hour to freaking sit here and do frick all. I have taken personally, myself, since the 6th of February calls, but crap, I am bored. That's the worst part about having a job with so much downtime, the boredom. Sure, I enjoy getting paid to sit on my butt and do nothing but scroll on my phone and listen to podcasts, but my brain is rotting, lol. I used to make video content for social media to drive ticket sales for a major arts festival. I would go to the tech rehearsal for major operas, plays, ballet, etc. There would be the full cast and orchestra performing as if they were playing to a full house, but it was just me and my camera. I could move around to get the right shot. I could go backstage and interview the performers and whoever else was in my brief to talk to. I got to tour around with an opera once. I have no background in this. I'm completely self-taught and had only done really pedestrian jobs before this. It was amazing. I never would have wanted to go to an opera or ballet before this came along. If you ever have the chance to see something like this, go. It's not as boring as you think it will be. In a past job, albeit a low-paid one, I got to help raise a baby sea otter, and one day I had the task of combing and fluffing up her fur to keep her waterproof and help her float. I was literally being paid to groom an adorable baby otter. I want a job sitting at home petting my bunnies. Thank you for inspiring me to reach for my dreams. Ex-boss. They bought my department first-class high-speed train tickets to get there, paid all food, rooms, etc. and let us wander around and see all the technology and innovations. Every customer or supplier of ours waved us into their booth, gave us beer, food, and free swag. After the expo, there was a company party on the expo floor in our booth. Free food, booze, and seeing probably 90% of senior staff of our company completely hammered. Aside from that, as a recent grad who had previously only had temp and part-time jobs, I'm still amazed I have paid vacation, and a lot of it at that. I work 8 hours a day. I actually work 20 minutes to a half hour of that. I read Reddit most of the day. I was a photojournalist, getting paid to sit on the sidelines of major sporting matches, at the sound desk or in the pit of bands from AC/DC to ZZ Top, meet all sorts of interesting people and create a photo to help tell their story. I photographed John Cleese during a sound check. He went on a 20-minute rant about photographers. I had to ask him to stop as I was laughing so hard I couldn't take pictures. Met Jackie Stewart and heard him speak about his time as a Formula 1 driver. It was an amazing job, and one I was very lucky to do for as long as I did. Some days I would think some people would pay to be able to do this. There were crap days too. Sitting in the hot sun at a murder scene all day, watching police bag evidence sucks, as does attending car crashes in the middle of the night, in the rain. But I remember the good days better than the bad ones. I once worked as a graphic designer for a well-known website Facebook page about movies, series, video games, music, and sometimes I had to do very poor photo edits, like pasting a famous actor's head on the body of a cartoon character to illustrate the fact that this character will have this famous actor's voice in this movie, or things like that. I was asked to do the worst edit possible to make the post funny. Yeah, for a while I was graphic designer at a now defunct culture politics blog with an intentionally crude and immature editorial voice. I definitely photoshopped Ben Carson lovingly cradling an infant with a Hitler mustache after he said he wouldn't abort baby Hitler. Not at my job, but I was once in a documentary of the miners' strike. I got paid to spend a weekend throwing fake rocks at fake cops, shouting at them. It was so much fun. I lucked my way into a test for a soon-to-open psychiatric hospital for criminals. Basically, we had to make as much trouble as we could and try to break out, then report back the flaws we found. Man, that was a fun day. I lifeguarded for 3 years, Saru a lot. When it gets rainy and everyone leaves the pool, they normally keep us around just in case it clears up. We watch TV and raid the snack bar. We play in the pool sometimes and blast music on the speakers. Having a party with a bunch of cute girl lifeguards while getting paid by the hour equals not a bad gig. Can confirm currently at work as lifeguard. I used to get paid to hack into companies' networks. For the longest time it was I can't believe I get to do this legally and get paid stupid amounts of money for it. Then it just started pee me off when I realized all the company's network security suck. Many were hiring me for a compliance checkbox, and when I'd come back the following year they hadn't done anything. In some cases not even change the dang passwords I used from the year prior. I now maintain a large list of companies I will never do business with using any type of credit card because I'm 110% positive it will be compromised if it hasn't been already. This seems like the digital version of I worked at this restaurant, and after seeing how they make their food I will never eat there again. A positive one. I get to teach kids how to play Dungeons and Dragons for 6 weeks every summer. Rolling into work dressed in an elf princess costume and getting to play a game for 7 hours a day, it feels unreal. I'm still incredulous every time that direct deposit hits. Oh hey, I can answer this one. I'm a dog trainer and we help dogs that are reactive to other dogs when on leash. That is, barking lunge at dogs when on walks. And one of the ways we do this is to drag a stuffed dog around. Looks realistic. At a distance. You even talk to the stuffed dog, pet it, and pretend to feed it. All of this is happening while another trainer feeds the real dog anytime they see the fake dog. I've legit been asked if I'm crazy before until people figure out we are training a dog. This is very cool. Client wanted to do a small tenant improvement to their existing office space and had existing PDF drawings of the office building, floor plans, cross sections etc. I quoted the client $2K for architectural permit plans, which would include redrawing the existing PDFs in AutoCAD and then drawing the proposed plans. Before I started the task of redrawing the PDFs, I had the idea. I Google searched PDF to DWG converter. To my surprise, there were many softwares that did this type of conversion. I managed to finish the entire project in about 5 hours. I'm doing a project right now that a drunk monkey could do with his hands tied behind his back. Microsoft Excel copy paste beep boop beep. Working in IT, getting paid to be a professional Googler basically. I'm not an expert, I just Google at a higher level. Literally 70% of my time at work is spent sitting at my desk bullshitting around. Pretty much that. I'm a programmer. During less busy periods, I literally get paid to sit on Reddit. I sometimes use Paint to alter screenshots of technical drawings which I then paste into PowerPoint to add annotations and then print the whole thing into monochrome PDF. And you best believe we're changing big money for all of this. Also, we print every email. That last sentence hurt me in the planet. I'm a waiter and if there's a mistake or a takeaway no-show we get to eat it. Often we get paid to stand around and smear pizza on your. Anytime a client takes me out for lunch or invites me to a golf or shooting tourney. But the craziest for me was when I was taken to a 4-hour lunch to a high-end steakhouse on Warren Buffett's credit card. That was pretty dope. I had to rub oil on a model's leg for a photo shoot. It was a positive. I can't believe I'm getting paid for this. Mine are all pretty minor, but this is my favorite. Marketing has Macs. There's a recall on a battery for the MacBook one guy has. In theory, I could have mailed it straight to Apple and they would mail it back, but instead I drove 30 minutes south to a computer store that would mail it for me. I ate Mexican food. I drove back, and then a week or so later, I drove down and picked it up. I did not eat Mexican because the call came in late Friday and I had already eaten. I got paid 2 hours and mileage and one lunch to deliver someone's MacBook to a store because they're too busy and important to do it themselves. And I am perfectly okay with that. When there's conferences in really nice or fun locations, it really struck me the first couple conferences I went to. So you're sending me to New Orleans, Miami, Hong Kong, London, and I get my normal pay, you're paying for travel and a nice hotel, and I get per diem. Anytime I dog sit for my neighbors. Used to work at a video store in college. Literally got paid to watch movies and do homework. Minimum wage, but hey, I got paid to study. This was the last video store I found, so it was usually extremely dead. I was rather amused I got hazard pay on one assignment, and at our work requirements, we were put up in a $250 night beachfront resort, and this is 20 years ago, in a cruise port town. Because of cost overruns, we were required to only work a 40-hour, 5-day work week, but they still paid for our hotel, meals, and car during the weekends and after hours. We did a ton of sightseeing, parties way too hard, and had a kick-ass time. I took up boogie boarding and 22-year-old me was hanging out with the ladies waiting to get on the cruise ships. The only hazard on that assignment was 2-hour livers. Literally sitting there for 4 hours because the power went out. We were instructed to just stay in the break room. Boss ran to town and bought us pizza and we just hung out with some flashlights for light bullshitting and fricking around. We were making close to $20 an hour. So that was the easiest money I've ever made. We worked our butt off though because our boss treated us so good. Also, I love pooping on company time, because frick my current job, I'll sit in there for 20 minutes if I want. I'm an overnight carer for disabled adults. I do maybe an hour of work a night and do whatever else the rest of the night. I bring my PlayStation to work sometimes. I work with disabled and special needs adults too. There's only so much we can do with them during the day. They mostly have no clue what's going on or where they actually are. We have a lot of downtime and it gets boring. We also have times where it's absolutely crazy and people have meltdowns, but mostly it's just a crap ton of downtime. When it's hard though. My last job was a support worker, working with adults that have intellectual disabilities. During my shifts I would go swimming. I went to a local water slide park. I went to movies. I went to museums. I spent afternoons outside walking, through parks or just down the streets. We had bonfires and roasted s'mores in the autumn evenings. Once in a while we would go out for lunch or dinner to a restaurant. I would eat what we cooked for the guys in the home. So free meals on shift. Everyone in the house was an amazing cook too. One guy was a cook at a local restaurant part-time and prepared some dishes. Everyone loved working with him, so he would cook. Everything was free for me. I never paid to get into these places. I had a budget that covered my meals when we went out. I ate for free while working. It was a crappy, very hard job sometimes, but it had some crazy good benefits to being there. I miss floating on my back in a pool in the summer laughing because I was getting paid. I had to broadcast 2 minutes of silence on Armistice Day. I worked in local radio. The presenter sent me out in the radio car as he wanted silence from the locality. In fact, he wanted silence from the highest point in the county. I drove up the highest hill and unwound my cable to the peak. Sadly, the silence was too quiet and the transmitters started shutting down. So he had to mix in more silence from another radio station. That was the stupidest job I ever did, and I did plenty. My team goes on a paid ski trip every year, sitting on a ski lift with the cute girls from the sales department passing around shot scoping out our next line. Where the F do I sign up? I work recording and mixing anime. One day my job was to record and edit burps. Everyone was laughing in the studio. I love my job. Waiting for supplies. We played cards for 4 days. I get paid to legally blow crap up. Freelance videographer. I charge a fair amount for my time, and I do a bit of travel. I get a call from a client I've done some previous work for that represents MMJ growers and entrepreneurs in a particularly red state. He asks me if I can be at this one location from 1-5 on a Tuesday afternoon. No idea what I'm supposed to cover or what this location is, as he simply told me a time and a place. No problem. Just looks like it's a warehouse and some offices. The location is like 2 hours away from me, so I charge travel rates, which is like $25 mile on top of my normal rate. I get there and realize just by the smell and extensive security that it's clearly a grow facility for MMJ, and sure enough it turns out to be the largest facility in the state. I had no idea. I get there and the client isn't ready for me, but they offer for me to take a tour with them. Video and photography isn't allowed, so it's literally just a tour of the facility for almost an hour. I've never seen so much pot in my life, and the vast engineering that went into that place was so amazing. We finally get to work, and essentially all they needed me for was to record a conference call so they can have that as video proof of what they discussed. Literally like 20 minutes of work that could have been done on an iPhone. But I'm not complaining because we had previously agreed on the rates, so they paid me what we agreed upon. On top of that, they gave me a free hat with the facility's logo on it. So essentially I got paid a half-day rate for 20 minutes of work, a free tour and a hat. That was a nice day. When I'm babysitting, after putting the kids to bed, I will sometimes literally nap on their couch waiting for the parents to get home. I was taking a crap once and it just struck me that I'm actually making money, so I stayed a little more on the toilet. That crap earned me $5.50. 3. We have a yearly golf tournament at my work. Get paid for the day, and if you win, or team if we're doing best ball, you get $300. Beer is always supplied and there's a lot of it. Every time we do it I have that holy toast, I'm getting paid to get drunk and play golf. Worked at a grocery store as a teenager college student. Manager said that the company's store brand of pizza wanted to take stock photos of people eating it. Myself and a few work friends were volunteered. They came in with some pizzas, cooked them, and told us we could try them while they set up their equipment. But something was wrong with their stuff and they couldn't take any photos. They encouraged us to eat the pizzas while we waited. 2 hours later, they never got their stuff working and gave up. Friends and I sat around eating pizza and chatting for 2 hours. I teach high school. We just got done with our first week and I am sort of sad it is the weekend, even though I am exhausted. These kids are so fun and funny and interesting. I can't believe I get to have out and talk about books with them and teach them how to be good at things. It is just baffling. I'm so happy. When I got to witness a man and his family being told that all charges are dropped after spending 22 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit. This'll probably get buried, but I got a share. I used to work as a personal assistant for a singer who fronted a band that was popular in the 80s. She now makes a living doing reunion shows, lots of them in which she's the only original member. So, yeah, not really a reunion. Her guitarist was hot, like crazy super hot. Always had a crush on him but never thought he'd want anything to do with the likes of Lil Olmy. It was hot guitarist's birthday, and they had a show that night, and boss wanted to surprise him on stage at the end of their set. She asked me to wear my sexiest outfit and walk on stage with a cake. Then she says, "If you're not comfortable with this you can say no, but I think it would be awesome if you grabbed his collar and just planted one on him." I definitely didn't say no. So the moment comes. I go up there, we sing happy birthday, I hand the cake to my boss, then proceeded to make out with hot guitarist in front of a ton of people. Definitely the best thing I've ever been paid to do. Any major holiday, I get paid to sit on my butt in a guard shack playing video games. Sitting there and not actually working. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.